Welcome back. We are jumping right into day 22 of our 90 Days of AI Native Work Challenge. And today we are going to unpack a group of folks who are truly the hidden heroes of the AI world, data engineers. We constantly hear about data scientists, right, and data analysts. But what exactly does a data engineer actually do? Well, let's break it down.
To really wrap your head around their role, I want you to imagine a massive, bustling city for a second. Think about it. Homes need water for showers, restaurants need it to cook, hospitals rely on it for basic hygiene, and factories need it to run their machinery. Millions of people are constantly using water, yet absolutely no one stops to think about the pipes hidden underground. That is, of course, until they break and flood your basement.
Well, businesses operate exactly the same way, just with data instead of water. Modern organizations have data flowing in constantly from everywhere. We're talking mobile apps, company websites, back-end databases, third-party APIs, customer files, you name it. And data engineers, they are the essential plumbers of this data world. They're the ones who move it, collect it, clean it up, and store it safely so the rest of the business can actually use it without things, breaking.
So what does this plumbing actually look like in practice? A data engineer builds the vital infrastructure that takes data from a raw, totally chaotic state and pushes it all the way to advanced AI systems. It starts as raw data, gets pushed through a pipeline, comes out as clean data, sits securely in storage, and finally, reaches your analytics or AI tools. Without the engineer building these exact steps, that flow just doesn't happen.
Let's actually map this out side by side. The water source, that's your raw data. The physical pipes running underground are your data pipelines. Filtering that water so it's safe to drink, that's data cleaning. Your massive city storage tank is the data warehouse. And the people drinking the water, the end users, those are the business dashboards, analysts, and AI systems. It's pretty simple. If the data pipes break, nothing reaches the destination. And if the data water is dirty, the people and AI systems using it are going to have some major problems.
So you might be wondering, how do these folks differ from the rest of the data team? Well, a data engineer focuses heavily on one primary question. How do we get reliable data where it needs to go? Let's say an e-commerce company suddenly sees a massive drop in sales. The data engineer's job isn't to solve the drop. Their job is to collect all the scattered sales, customer, and transaction data and ensure it's reliably delivered to one central, highly usable place.
Once that's done, the data analyst steps in. They're asking a totally different question. What does the data tell us? The analyst takes that perfectly delivered, super clean data provided by the engineer and analyzes it to figure out exactly where and why those sales dropped in the first place. They are the ones digging for the story and the insights hidden inside all those numbers.
And then finally, we have the data scientist. Their big focus is, what can we predict or model using this data? Working alongside the rest of the team, the data scientist takes that same reliable data and builds complex machine learning models. They want to predict future sales or forecast customer behavior so the company can prevent that drop from ever happening again. They all work together beautifully, but it absolutely always starts with the engineer setting the foundation.
Because if you get this wrong, it triggers an absolute catastrophic domino effect. Without a data engineer properly monitoring the system, bad data enters the flow. Bad data inevitably leads to bad analysis, and bad analysis, that leads directly to terrible business decisions, period.
But flip that around. When you get it right, it's incredible. Reliable data pipelines guarantee that dashboards, analysts, and advanced AI or RAG applications actually function the way they're supposed to. Reliable data leads to way better analysis, which powers much better AI, ultimately driving incredibly smart decisions. The whole shebang relies entirely on that very first step being rock solid.
Now, we've thrown around the word pipeline a few times, so let's clearly define what that is. When you hear the term data pipeline in this explainer, remember, we aren't getting overly technical. It is literally just an automated process that moves and processes data from one place to another. That is it. It's the transport and processing mechanism of the digital world. Just think about the very last time you bought something on an app. You tap buy, right? That transaction instantly hits a database. The pipeline then grabs it, moves it over to a central data warehouse, and finally, it pops up on a business dashboard for the CEO to see. These pipelines can be set to run automatically on a specific schedule, or they can trigger instantly the second new data arrives.
So how does this actually run in the real world? Imagine a company receives, say, 1 million sales records throughout a single day. Instead of processing each and every single one instantly, which could totally overwhelm and crash their servers, they just wait until midnight. At midnight, a job kicks off automatically to collect, clean, transform, and store all 1 million of those records at once, while everyone is sound asleep.
This specific method is called a batch job, and it's a massive staple for data engineers. Why? Because it's incredibly efficient, it's highly predictable, it is absolutely fantastic for handling massive volumes of data, and honestly, it's just really useful when real-time split-second processing isn't strictly necessary for the business. While real-time pipelines definitely exist, batch processing is a fundamental, everyday part of an engineer's toolkit.
Let's actually walk through a day in the life of a data engineer to see how this plays out. They kick off their morning, say 9 a.m., checking if those overnight batch pipelines we just talked about completed successfully. By 11, they're huddled up with the analysts to figure out a new data requirement. Early afternoon, around 1 p.m., they're heads down building or modifying pipeline code. At 3 p.m., they dive into writing the logic to clean up incoming data. Approaching 4 p.m., it's all about rigorously testing data quality, hunting down missing or duplicate records. And finally, wrapping up around 5 p.m., they monitor active jobs and document any changes they made. Literally, their entire day revolves around making data reliable, available, and usable for the whole company.
Bringing this all back to our 90-day challenge, why does understanding this matter so much to us right now? Well, because modern AI systems absolutely demand clean data. They demand reliable pipelines, robust storage, and proper monitoring of both structured and unstructured data. Underneath all those highly visible, super flashy AI systems we interact with lies a massive, invisible data infrastructure that absolutely depends on every single one of these elements.
It really all comes down to this. AI gets the spotlight, but data engineering builds the stage. A data engineer might never be the person presenting a shiny dashboard to the board of directors, and they probably aren't the ones building the futuristic AI model, but they are the sole reason those things work at all.
To summarize their absolutely critical mission, they move data, they clean data, they store data, they connect data, and above all else, they make it reliable. They are managing the literal lifeblood of modern business.
And just like that, Day 22 is officially in the books. Now you know exactly who keeps the data flowing behind the scenes. So I want to leave you with one final thought. Now that you actually understand the hidden infrastructure powering the entire AI revolution, what new possibilities will you build on top of this stage tomorrow? I really hope this sparked your curiosity. Get plenty of rest, and I will see you right back here for Day 23.